And now, Pat and Ian present classic moments from the 7th NES Marathon. Moment number 40.
Welcome to Pat's Pork Roll Gaming Videos, where we discuss all things pork roll and gaming. I'm here for Pat in collaboration with the annual charity marathon. In New Jersey, pork roll is more common than combat. Speaking of which, Pat, my offer still stands. Combat for Nintendo World Championships? Anyway, what you just saw was the pre-sliced version of pork roll. The one that I grew up with the most was the unsliced kind, just a big sack of meat that you slice up. You fry it up, you put it on a bagel or a croissant or an English muffin. Everybody has their own preference. Everybody also has their own preference of what to call it. In North Jersey, most people say Taylor ham. In South Jersey, most people say pork roll. And in all the rest of the world, they say, what the fuck is it? So I guess Pat and I need to spread the word to make pork roll known throughout the world. In fact, we're not doing game reviews anymore. No, and no more game conventions either. We're going to the motherfucking pork roll convention. Yeah! Too bad we missed it this year. From now on, it's all pork roll. Just kidding. Gilligan's Island, NES. The opening sequence is relatively faithful to the popular 60s TV show which it's based on. It even has the theme music, though it's not quite the best rendition. Compared to something else like Fester's Quest, and you know the NES is capable of better, you know what I mean? It's not quite there. It's like comparing cooked salami to pork roll. The plot of the game is that there's a storm coming, so you have to gather the necessary materials. Basically, all it needs to say is, go fetch shit. You take control of the skipper, with Gilligan following close behind. Gone is his familiar red shirt. Instead, he looks like Oddlaw from Where's Waldo. Ugh, this jumping sucks. It's almost half as bad as Bill and Ted, which is pretty bad. Snakes. Does every game need to have snakes? Boy, I'd punch him if I could. If only I could. Even punching the hog, it's useless. Come on, you son of a bitch. Turn you into pork roll. Oh, Gilligan just fell down a hole. Good, I don't want him anyway. Why do you need another character tagging along? Well, I'm sure there's a reason, so I guess I gotta save his ass. So I go down the hole, I find Gilligan, I bring him back to the surface, and then guess what? He falls again. Avoiding this hole is more difficult than the holes in E.T. on Atari. I wonder what Pat says about this game. Let's find out in his book, The Ultimate Guide to the NES Library. This thing is massive. Let's see. Gilligan. Where is it? There's no Gilligan's Island. Oh, that's right. The Adventures of Gilligan's Island. It's one of those games. The show was just called Gilligan's Island. Why couldn't they call it that? Anyway, Pat gives it 3 stars out of 5. 3 stars out of 5. I'm not so sure about that. He also says when it comes to the Marianne or Ginger question, I tend to choose Ginger. Oh, come on. Mrs. Howell, for sure. Quicksand. You have to mash the buttons repeatedly to get through. This is real fun. Why'd Gilligan go up the tree? Get back here! What is he, a cat? Oh, I lost him again. He does such a shitty job following you. Fuck you, Gilligan. Pork roll. Damn, the water current got me. Oh, that's cheap. The professor tells me Mrs. Howell's with Mr. Howell. Didn't know I was looking for either of them, but thanks. Oh, damn it, Gilligan. Ugh. Fortunately, you can use the rope to pull him back, but you only start out with a couple of them. Oh, great time to lose Gilligan, just before a boss fight. The hit detection is awful. In fact, I don't think I've hit him once. Who goes around punching apes anyway? This is one of the most miserable times I've ever had on a boss battle. All around, this is a nightmarish experience. The show is so cheerful, even though they're trying to get off the island, they had everything they needed. Lots of the appeal of the show is the idea of imagining what it would be like living away from the grid. It's a fantasy, and everything on the show looked so perfect. But the game is the opposite, the equivalent of living in hell. This is torture! I can't believe you gave it 3 stars! That's way too forgiving. According to the key, 3 stars means above average, an enjoyable game with more positive attributes than the typical game. No. That is just ridiculous. I mean, 3 stars? How could you give it 3 stars? I would say I would give it, let's see, I played worse. 2.5. Well, Pat, good luck on the charity event. I'd tell you to fuck off, but since it's for charity, how could I say no? It's a great cause, a great tradition, and I'll be there next year again if you need me. Although, sometime we gotta work in pork roll somewhere.
This has been a classic moment from the 7th NES Marathon.